Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is January 23rd, 2026, and this is my weekly market review. We're reviewing the S&P 500, that's SPY, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over here to these charts and see what we see right quick. And again, this is getting kind of boring. You know, this market is not going anywhere too fast. On this, let me resize this. On this quarterly chart, as we can see, we're still green. We still got higher lows and higher highs. We're still looking fairly bullish. We're still quite a ways above the pivot here. These are yearly pivots on this chart, I believe. Let me just double check that for you. Yearly pivots, as you can see. And also, again, we're above pivot, staying above pivot. Kind of expect, I would hate to see this market even make a pull back down to pivot at this time. That would be a pretty good drop. So at this time, everything is looking good. So that's what I see here. Let's go ahead and go down to this monthly chart and see what we see here. On this monthly chart, what we see here is that we are still above the 9-10 moving average. That's this blue line right here. That means technically we are still in a bull market. We're getting another doji beginning to form. We are above pivot. These are quarterly pivots, and I kind of expect us to stay above pivot and see that we can go higher. We haven't broken our R1 yet at this point. So again, like I say, this market is struggling this month. It is not going anywhere too fast, but it's making some pretty good moves on the intraday chart. We'll see when we get there. But that's what I see here. Let's go ahead and go down to this weekly chart and see what we see there on this weekly chart. Let me zoom in here. Again, on this weekly chart, as I was just saying, this is a pretty nice sized candle. So that means we got a pretty good moves here this week. You know, last week, well, that was a pretty good sized candle going from wick to wick, although it's a small body and a doji and all. We dropped down below pivot on these monthly things, but we came right back above pivot, stay above pivot. So again, this was a pretty good dip and a pretty good buy. I think it was a holiday week, and we ended up dropping really far down, you know, that Monday, and everybody was wondering what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. Lots of stuff always going on. So when you see crazy drops like that, did it do anything really crazy? No, not really crazy in my book. You know, it was just a good buying opportunity for us day traders and us swing traders. That's all it was to me. You know, but that's what I see, you know, and that's what I'm seeing here. Come this month, we're staying above pivot. The thing is, will we get above this R1 level and all this last week, last couple of weeks, last week, whatever it's left in this month, and will we break? Will we make a high? This is the first time in a while, you know, in 3 weeks that we didn't make an all-time high this week. You know, so that's showing a little bit of weakness and all in this market, because we do have a lower highs and lower lows, even though this is a green. So be kind of mindful of that, you know, but we've had that before. And we ended up with that right there, all-time highs. So again, don't get too crazy, don't get too excited because of what we're seeing right here. Just stick to your trading plans and your trading strategies, and just trade accordingly, and you'll be safe. All right, let's go down to this daily noise and wrap this on up. This daily noise, again, like I said, this was a holiday week. After option expiration, we ended up dropping down pretty good here on this Monday, this candle right here, this red candle. But then after that, the next day, we did charge back up pretty good. Like I said, it was a good week. We did slow. We got back up to pivot, as you can see on these weekly pivots and all. Gapped up again, gapped up and came down and pulled back up a little bit. And then this morning we gapped down and pulled back up, and we ended up staying on the pivot here for the week. Again, on the pivot, stay on the pivot. You know, that's why it's one of my rules that I have. You kind of like, based on certain trading strategies, it seems to help me out and works out pretty good. And the other thing that happened here, this is the support 3 level right here. Whenever, based on my trading plans and my trading strategies, when I get to a support 3, that's an oh my God buy. Unless something's crazy going on in the world, and you expect the market to really be crashing, But I didn't see anything. I saw just a normal noise that we got out there in this world at this time. So again, it was okay to do what I did. Let's leave it at that. Don't get into any trading strategies based on what we are seeing out here. It was nothing to get too excited about. Right now, come next week, I see us opening above pivot, so I guess it's staying above pivot and going higher, but we still may not break these tops without our one being right here, and we still may not break that 700 number at all. This market is really, like I say, is struggling to go higher, and we're seeing it, but we see it here. All that week there, it's struggle, and then we get the gap down and pull back up. So we'll come next week. Let's just see what happens. We may not break 700 again. Next week we'll be probably in a tight $10 range. What was this range? That was 77 to that was a big range this week, going all the way down here to 77 up to almost 90, almost 91, 92. So that's a much bigger range there. 10, another 5, another $4 or so. So about $13, $14 range. So not bad. But that's it. That's all I really want to share at this time. I can start looking too much at the numbers and all. Just showing you what I see. But that's it. I hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And talk to you next week. Right Side Trader here. Have a good one. Bye.